Hi, I'm Kristen from the Tulsa Regional STEM Alliance. Today we're going to combine art and math to create our own piece of illusion art. Tessellations are patterns of repeating shapes that fit together closely with no gaps or overlapping. You can see tessellation patterns all around in nature and artwork. Bees, like these, create a tessellating pattern in their hives. Many art forms like tile work and quilts include tessellations. If you look at this quilt, you can see that there's a tessellating pattern of leaves. One of the most famous artists known for tessellations is Escher. He was a Dutch artist who used mathematical objects and operations to create masterful illusions. Certain shapes will tessellate easily. These are congruent shapes, or shapes that are exactly the same size and shape, like squares or hexagons. You can explore tessellating with congruent shapes using pattern blocks. These math manipulatives are usually found in classrooms, but you can also print some out on the internet for free, just like I did. Some shapes will not tessellate, like circles and ovals. Today we're going to create our own piece of artwork similar to MC Escher, using an irregular shape. For this activity, you'll need index cards, and they can either be 3x5 or the larger ones. You'll need scissors, tape, a piece of paper, and it could be a bigger piece of paper if you have larger paper, a pencil with an eraser, and a marker like a black Sharpie is also helpful, but you don't have to have that. And you'll also need something to decorate with, like colored pencils or markers. To start with, you can either start with a rectangular shape of your index card, or you can make a square out of your index card. So to make a square, you just fold down the corner across like this. And you cut off that extra flap. And that will give you a square. But I've done it with both squares and rectangles, and they both work pretty well. Next, you're going to create an irregular shape. To do that, you're going to just cut on the edge of the index card, just a random design. So I'm just cutting a swirl. And you can see it fit like this. Now, without rotating it or turning it over, you're going to slide it to the end of the shape, and you're going to tape that piece on like that. So now I taped my cut piece off to this end. Now you're going to cut either the top or the bottom off and do the same thing. You're going to make a design and then tape it to the other side. So I cut that off, and without rotating it, I'm going to move it to the top and tape it in place. Now I have an irregular shape that will tessellate easily. And it doesn't matter which way you turn it. This is where your art skills come into play and your creativity. Next, you're going to take your piece of paper, and you can place your shape anywhere that you like. You can start in the center or off the edge, and you're going to trace it. And I would recommend tracing it with a pencil to start with, one that you can erase, just in case you accidentally mess up your lines. Okay, so I've traced my shape. Now I'm going to move my template down like this and trace it again. And I'm going to keep doing that until I've filled up my whole sheet. Once you fill up your paper, then you can trace it in marker so that you have a little more definition to your lines. And then you can decorate your tessellation to create an interesting design. So here's one I created with a rectangle index card. This one, remember, was the square. This is a rectangle. So I made my shape, and then I traced it onto this paper and filled the entire page with my design. And then I thought, I think that looks like a bird. And so then I ended up decorating it to look like birds. So you can decorate it any way that you would like. You can imagine that it looks something like my birds, or it can even be an abstract design. So now that you know what tessellations are, I guarantee that you're going to start seeing them all around you. Patterns are everywhere. I'd love to see the artwork that you created. You can share it with us on social media using @TulsaSTEM. Thanks for watching, and you can find more STEM activities at tulsastem.org. Bye!